name is Chase Merrill alongside Jonathan Shusky, and we should have a solid battle here tonight at the Sawmill.
The Sawmill is a place where the Lady Jacks are really, really tough to beat. They've lost 5 games in this building in the last 6 years, and tonight they're looking to get another one in some postseason play. Lady Jacks going up against a Texas State team that's really good, a share of the Sun Belt Conference, runner-up in the tournament this year. This is a really good senior-heavy team coming into the Sawmill tonight.
Absolutely, and Texas State, a big pickup from where they were last year. Last year, Texas State was 15-14 overall and 9-6 in conference. This year, the Wildcats 23-9, 13-5 overall in conference. But here the Lady Jacks and the Wildcats meet for the first round of the WNIT playoffs. Neither team able to score on the first possession. Just trying to fill it out. These two teams have not played against each other since, I believe, the 2013-2014 season, but have plenty of history to go along with it.
Yeah, actually, almost 9 years to the day these two teams played each other in the WBI tournament. March 20th, 2014, SFA took down the Bobcats 59-51 here in Johnson Coliseum. And these two teams have a history that goes way back. Those 67 times they played, old Southland Conference rivals. And so, yeah, they're familiar with each other. I know I talked to Coach Kellogg and to Coach C a little bit earlier today, and these two teams have scrimmaged each other a few times in those close scrimmages before the season. So there's definitely some familiarity between these two programs.
Absolutely, as both teams now get on the board. Tyler McCall gets it going for the Lady Jacks, and it was Michaela Bowie on the other end for the Wildcats. So all knotted up at 2, just like I said earlier, just trying to fill each other out, just trying to get it going from both sides of the basketball. Take a look at Texas State's starting 5. Kennedy Taylor, Jaquela Bowie, Taylor Pruitt, Denasia Hood, and Lauren Thompson as the ball is on the floor, and it's going to be a jump ball.
You mentioned Kennedy Taylor in that starting lineup. Kennedy Taylor, the all-time career leader in assists in the Sun Belt Conference, and a really, really talented player in her. And then you mentioned Jaquela Bowie as well, and Denasia Hood. Denasia Hood is where this team goes when they need a bucket. And I expect those 3 will really be the 3 impact players tonight for this Bobcat team.
Absolutely. And not to mention, I think you got to talk with Texas State's head coach, and you talked about their seniority they have on the team. Maybe not a ton of playoff experience, but just the experience of having 4 to 5 years of basketball, and maybe even more due to COVID years and whatnot. But I mean, that has to play into factor, especially whenever you come travel here to the Sawmill.
Yeah, look, obviously it's important to have postseason experience, but if you don't have postseason experience, what's the next best thing? Have a bunch of players that have been playing college basketball for a long time, and that's what they've got.
So Lady Jacks able to get it back there. And a great job by Jordan Harrison getting in position.
Yeah, maybe wouldn't have gotten that call, except the Bobcat player just kind of lowered her shoulder a little bit there at the end of that play, and I think that's what the deciding factor was in calling that a charge.
Both teams working solid defensively, just trying to get the offense going, and inside is Ayanna Johnson. Can't make it, but she will get fouled. Take a look at the Lady Jacks starting 5. Jordan Harrison, Angel Scott, Tyler McCall, Brittingham, and Johnson. And Jonathan, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the keys to the game. We'll kind of start out with Texas State. What is Texas State going to have to do in order to pull out a win here at William R. Johnson?
Well, in talking to Coach earlier today, she said this is going to have to be a game where they execute on both ends like they haven't executed all season. This is a really good Lady Jack team they're going to play against. So she knows how important it is for them to play their best game of the year. Find extra possessions, offensive rebounds, getting some turnovers, forcing the Lady Jacks to hurry up and maybe turn it over a little bit. You got to find those extra possessions if you're going to beat a team that's this good, and then you got to make it tough on them in the paint. Like that last possession, that's way too easy getting it down to Ayanna Johnson. You've got to make it a lot tougher on her, on Brittingham, and then on the rest of the Lady Jacks when they try to dump it down into the paint.
Absolutely, and then the keys to the game for the SFA Lady Jacks, they're going to have to win the rebounding battle. Texas State is kind of a bigger size squad, but they're just going to have to win. They're going to have to win the 50-50 balls. They're going to have to get their shooters going. They have plenty on the floor, but Lady Jacks haven't lost many games this year, but the games they've lost, they have not shot well from behind the arc. And that's exactly what you said. Texas State going to look to shut down the inside, so Lady Jacks will have to fire from the perimeter, and that's exactly what we see from Angel Scott. And then we talked about seniority for Texas State. That's also what the Lady Jacks are going to have to do. They have that one and lone graduating senior in Ayanna Johnson, so they're going to have to play through her and her experience. Avery Brittingham on the inside, working through contact, gets the basket to fall, and the Lady Jacks take an 8-2 lead.
Great job there by the defense, forcing an early timeout. Offensive rebound leads to some more offense, then you get the turnover and a bucket. Lady Jacks on fire early here in Nacogdoches.
SFA Lady Jacks lead the Texas State Bobcats 8-2 here at the Sawmill right now. Leading the way right now for the Lady Jacks is going to be Angel Scott. She's fired one from out, or she has one made three from outside. And then, but a couple baskets spread out. Tyler McCall with a basket. Avery Brittingham as well. Ayanna Johnson with a lone point. And Texas State, their only score is Bowie so far with a made basket.
Lady Jacks just playing tough defense, a little bit of pressure. They forced 3 early turnovers. They've got 6 points on turnovers here in the first 4 minutes. It's been pretty much the ideal start if you're a Lady Jack fan.
Absolutely. Had an open look from behind the arc, now taking a strong rebound. That's exactly what the Lady Jacks are going to have to do. You talked about getting extra possessions for the Bobcats, and they got it there, but just lost it. Lady Jacks swarming.
You can't get the extra possession and then give it right back to the Lady Jacks. It's not going to work if you do it that way.
Brittingham trying to work inside, splitting the defense, lays it in for 2.
That's just a good, strong take by Brittingham there. I mean, just muscles one up there and gives the Lady Jacks an 8-point lead. They look really comfortable here at home in this women's NIT tournament.
Outside, 3 on the way, came up short. Brittingham reaches out and grabs it for the strong board. Brittingham, the do-it-all lady for the Lady Jacks. One of very few women in all of NCAA who has a triple-double to her name this in regular season. And able to back tap and gets a steal to Angel Scott. Brittingham bringing it up and will get the easy lay-in for two. Forces the Bobcats to take the timeout, but Lady Jacks are just picking up right where they left off, and they've opened the lead up by 10.
Yeah, the Lady Jacks just dropping the hammer here early in this game, and I mean they look intense, they look ready, like they are fired up. I can tell you this, in talking to coach, in talking to some of their players, they were not happy with how things left in WAC Vegas, and this is a team that came in very, very motivated to play some postseason basketball, and it's showing here in the first half of this first quarter.
And Harrison, the littlest one on the court, is able to go right inside and lays it in for two. You know, I said the littlest one, but the Bobcats, number 24, and Pruitt also stands at 5'6", so I think the same height as Jordan Harrison. Texas State looking to get something going, and immediately they do off the glass.
Kennedy Taylor puts up a really good shot there, and look, this is a team, they're down 10 right now early in this ball game, but again, you started 4 graduate students and a senior. Just let you get your feet under you a little bit. It doesn't help that you're going to give up a 3-point play here potentially, but get your feet under you. This is a team that they've been behind in games before, and I would fully expect for them to show a little bit of fight and get back into this thing.
Especially talking with their head coach, it just seems like they're one of those teams that, you know, they can get it going in an instant.
They can, and look, I think they're a team that even in this situation, trailing 16-4 right now, I think they're going to be true to who they are. They're going to stick to their identity and what they do. Yeah, you need to clean up some turnovers right now. There's some things that have gone very wrong here in the first 6 minutes of the ball game. But again, yeah, you got like 7 or 8 seniors on this roster. I fully expect them to kind of get their feet under them and get it going here.
So Lady Jacks lead 17-4, spreading the wealth around. 4 players have scored, only 5 have touched the floor. Brittingham leads all scorers. She has 6. Scott behind her with 3. Excuse me, all 5 players have scored. And Jordan Harrison will get fouled. And it will be by Kennedy Taylor.
What a defensive effort by Destiny Lombard there. I mean, that looked, when that ball got entered into the post, I thought that was going to be a pretty easy layup, and Lombard just comes over the top, great block there, and gets the Lady Jacks in transition. They draw the foul, and I'm telling you, the intensity that the Lady Jacks are playing with right now, like this may be the best 6 or so minutes I've seen them play all season long, and what a time to do it.
And to start off the game, nonetheless, I mean, they came out firing like they've been doing this every single game this year, which they practically have.
Yeah, they've been pretty close to it most of the year, absolutely.
But like we said, Texas State just got to shut down the inside, but right now have not been able to stop the Lady Jacks, just splitting the defense wherever they want. And Harrison looking to add on 2 more points, and that's exactly what she does.
Well, the tough part right now if you're Texas State is you're not really getting a lot of opportunities to set your defense because of that right there, just turning the basketball over, and you're not giving your defense a chance to get in position.
Harrison looking around, moving the ball around. Kirsten Harden working down low, trying to kick it out, find its way somehow into the hands of McClymonds Call. Harrison fires from deep. That's just going to be a too strong shot. Bobcats get a solid board there.
Good job on the box out right there. That was really well done by Jada Reed on the boards there.
19-4, under 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Brittingham with another poke away, trying to come up with it, dives on the floor, and it will wind up in the hands of the Bobcats. And now a foul by Harrison. Brittingham on the floor, slow to get up, may have gotten poked in the eye. Couple substitutions. We see Scott Deck check in for SFA.
I'll tell you, a slow start for the Bobcats all around, but really for Denasia Hood, who's their best player and one of only 5 players in program history with over 1,800 career points. I think she averages almost 18 a game and 8 rebounds. And tremendous player, and she's going to have to get going if this team's going to get back into this ball game here early in the first quarter.
And they really want to do it as quickly as possible. This is not a team that you want to be trailing for long at all, because the Lady Jacks, and when they get going, it's hard to stop.
Well, and this is a team that all year long we've watched them. Man, when they smell a little bit of blood in the water, they know how to finish an opponent off. And so, if you're Texas State, this is, I mean, I know we got 2 minutes to go in the first quarter here, but this is desperation time early in the game. You cannot let this thing get any more out of control.
Hood still can't get going, but an offensive board gets Nelson off her feet. And a great move down low by Jacayla Bowie.
Yeah, good job there by Bowie, grabbing that board, getting that extra possession. And that's the kind of thing that's going to get you back in this game. Look, you may not shoot it great, that's fine. Getting those extra possessions. The Lady Jacks have struggled on the boards a few times, more than a few times this season. And that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to find those possessions, get back into this ball game.
And Kirsten Harden just able to go across the paint and lays it in with the left hand.
What a take there by Kirsten Harden. When you watch her play, her footwork, the soft touch she shows around the rim, I tell you, there are a lot of places in the country where she wouldn't be the 6th rotation player and coming off the bench. She'd be in a lot of starting lineups in America.
Right now, what I'm impressed by is the Lady Jacks and how they take care of the basketball so far early in this early in this game. Throughout the first quarter, they only have 1 turnover to Texas State's 6.
Yeah, when you're winning the turnover battle 6-1 this early in a ball game, that's usually good things. Good drive right there. We just missed Denasia Hood going to the basket there, getting to the free throw line, and I think that's what she settled for a 3 a little bit earlier, a couple possessions ago. I think she's going to have to get going to the rim, play downhill a little bit. One of the other things we've noticed with this Lady Jack team this year is they have a tendency to get into some foul trouble at times. And I think a player as good as Hood is, get going downhill, get into the rim, try to draw some fouls and get the Lady Jacks into a little bit of trouble there.
Absolutely. 21-8. Bobcats able to start getting some points on the board. 14-4 points in the paint right now for the Lady Jacks. That's exactly what Texas State is looking to shut down, but add 2 more for Kyla Deck inside the paint.
Kyla Deck getting to the rack there. And look, the Lady Jacks are getting what they want when they want it right now. This is as impressive a performance here in the first quarter as we've seen from them all season long.
But Wee Nelson comes up with the board. Scott pushing the ball off the floor. Scott looking to go to work, double team down low. And will have to settle to kick it out. Lady Jacks love to try to take it on the inside, but not afraid to kick it out and shoot the 3 ball, but Lombard can't finish that time, and Harden will get fouled. And there's those extra opportunities that the Lady Jacks just looking to work for each and every possession.
Kirsten Harden working big on the boards down here, going to go to the line for a couple of free throws. And again, everything going the Lady Jacks way right now. I'm sitting here trying to kind of figure out like where's the weakness, like where can you attack right now if you're the Bobcats, and there's nothing. I mean, they're getting into the rim. We've seen them hit a couple of outside shots. They're getting to the free throw line. They're forcing turnovers. They're doing all the things. They're checking every block that you can possibly check to have a successful first 9.5 minutes of a basketball game.
But we talked about it in the keys to the game. Texas State gonna have to make it tough inside the paint. And right now, Lady Jacks have 25 points. 16 of them have come from the inside.
Yeah. The Texas State Bobcats are going to have to do a little better job of making it tough in the paint, because that 16 points in the quarter is not going to make it work.
Shot clock turned off. Lombard hands it off to Scott. Lady Jacks may be looking for the final shot now with 10 seconds. Deck feeding inside. Nelson to Lombard. Lombard sets, fires off the mark. Still with plenty of time. Scott gets the rebound, puts it up, no good. And Lady Jacks have it their way the entire first quarter. Lady Jacks on top, 25-8. Welcome back to William R. Johnson Coliseum. The SFA Lady Jacks lead the Texas State Bobcats 25-8. We were coming in here. Both teams have a solid record on the season in conference play as well. But right now, the Lady Jacks dominating through one.
Yeah, look, I mean, they won the turnover battle 6-1 in that first quarter. I mean, basically looking down the stat line, there's really not a statistic that they didn't dominate. Had a 17-2 lead, or I think at one point, I mean, or had a 17-point lead, have a 17-point lead. I mean, it's just been, again, this team coming off of WAC Vegas, really disappointed in the performance there and what happened. And I'll tell you, they've come in here just focused like we haven't seen them in a few weeks, and it's been remarkable. I mean, on pace to score 100 right now.
If I'm the head coach for Texas State, you know, I mean, during that entire break, I mean, we've got to fix almost everything, especially on the defensive end. I mean, they were allowing Lady Jacks to get anywhere they wanted on the floor. That's exactly what you said. I mean, and it was absolutely true. Lady Jacks were getting anything they wanted, but coming out here in the second quarter to getting a defensive stop and getting a basket.
Yeah, they're going to have to. I mean, I think you've got to obviously take care of the basketball. But I think you've got to find a way to slow the game down just a little bit, because SFA, they're going to want to get out and run a little bit, and when they get moving up and down the floor, they're going to be really tough to beat. So try to bog the game down a little bit.
Angel Scott doesn't miss twice, especially if you're left wide open on the second three.
Yeah, the rotation right there, but Nicole left, she's going to have to rotate quicker to that side. You cannot let Angel Scott get two just point-blank, wide-open looks at the basket. She's going to knock a shot down if you do that very often.
28-13. Lady Jacks kind of stuck in the backcourt a little bit, and it's going to be an offensive foul against Scott. Great job by Texas State in the backcourt. Able to get the turnover, and it seems like, you know, they've kind of calmed down now. They're now trying to figure out their rhythm instead of playing desperation ball.
Take a look at that play again. Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good job getting there and getting in position, kind of anticipating that play a little bit. And all right, now if you're Texas State, you've got things settled in a little bit here. You've kind of withstood that storm. Now you start crawling back into this thing. And that last possession, getting Hood an open three and getting a bucket for her, that's big for them. Got to get her going if you're going to get back in this thing.
28-13, 8:10 to play here in the first half. Lady Jacks, both teams have kind of struggled from behind the arc. 1 for 4 are the Wildcats, and 2 for 8 are the Lady Jacks. So just trying to pick it up on both sides. But right now, Lady Jacks shooting a perfect 50% from the floor, 10 for 20. It's hard to stop a team whenever they're shooting 50%. Half their shots are going in. Great
move on the other end there by Taylor Pruitt. I mean, that was a beautiful move. Just didn't finish the bucket. And a rare Lady Jack turnover there. Haven't seen that happen very often tonight.
Not at all, but like I said, I feel like something was said at the end of that first quarter. I haven't seen the Lady Jacks really just being able to take it inside like they want to, like they did in the first quarter. I feel like Texas State is starting to make that adjustment, and so far it's kind of worked out here in the second half, or second quarter.
Well, look, Coach Anton for Texas State, really good basketball coach. She's the all-time leader in wins in that program now, and been there for 12 seasons. She is equally as experienced at this head coaching thing as the players that she's got on the court. And yes, so I'm sure that they've talked a little bit in the huddle there and trying to get things together. And you can see right here on that possession what we talked about earlier, making it tough in the paint. But then there's Avery Brittingham cleaning up the mess, getting the offensive rebound, and 2 points for the Lady Jacks. I'm telling you, it's just when things are going your way, they're going your way. That was a good defensive possession by the Bobcats. The Lady Jacks still find a way to score.
Avery Brittingham just missed do it all. 30-13. Texas State looking for a response. Nice feed down low. Was able to pick it up and get the foul against Harden. No basket. That was a great pass. I don't know if it was a no-look pass down low, but it definitely kind of caught the Lady Jacks off guard. Take a look at it. See her get fouled there as Harrison checks in for SFA. Brittingham, selected for the all-WAC first team, averaging almost 11 points a game, shooting 44% from the field, and almost averaging a double-double, just about 2 rebounds shy.
Yeah, she was a double-double machine all season long, and you mentioned one of only, I think, 3 players in the country in women's basketball to register a triple-double on the season. She is night in and night out. She's going to find a way to touch almost every stat in every column in some way, shape, or fashion.
We talk about double-double machines. Well, I also feel like Texas State have a pair of their own. Hood averaging 17 and a half a game, along with she's had seven double-doubles this season, but again averaging the 17 and a half. And then Taylor Kennedy, 190 assists on the season, 10 points per game, but has 4 double-doubles, and all those no rebounds. It's all assists.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a player on this team in Denasia Hood who, like I mentioned earlier, one of only 5 players in program history with 1,800 career points. You've got the Sun Belt's all-time career assist leader. I mean, it's a stacked team, but the Lady Jacks have absolutely handled business here in the early part of this first half.
Still trying to going from behind the arc, can't get it there. Brittingham secures the board.
I'm so impressed with the way the Lady Jacks have rebounded the basketball tonight. It's one of the things that obviously we've seen some teams get hot behind the three-point line this year against them. CBU did it a couple of times, once in the WAC tournament. But one of the things that's really killed us, we noticed it against Sam Houston a little bit. The offensive rebounds and kickouts for extra possessions, they have not allowed that really against this Texas State team. And they've rebounded it well on both ends. I mean, I'm really, really impressed with the way the Lady Jacks are going after those boards tonight.
Absolutely. Reed picks up her first personal foul. Will take a sit on the bench while the Lady Jacks look to go to work. Inside, great poke away, and they're going to say original calling was out of bounds off of SFA, but now it looks like it'll be overruled and say out of bounds off of Texas State.
Yeah, I don't think the official there on the baseline saw that one get tipped.
Harrison looking down low. Now we'll send it up top to Scott to get things set. Scott with 4 seconds on the shot clock will get fouled. And a great take by Angel Scott, just looking for contact, able to draw the whistle. See right here, Scott not scared of much. She's a 3-point threat, and she's more than happy to take it on the inside. And right now, she's helped the Lady Jacks build this lead, and a great pass down low, just can't finish, is the veteran in Johnson.
Yeah, you could see as soon as she let that ball go, she kind of had a look in her eye like, I can't believe I just missed that. And she knows she should have made that bucket. That was an easy one for a player with the skill level of Ayanna Johnson.
Bobcats on the inside, blocked by Brittingham, and now a foul by the Bobcats.
I'll tell you, one of the things that really sticks out to me, obviously the rebounding margin, 18-7 in favor of the Lady Jacks. But one of the things that you and I talked about in a couple of games late in the season was that there were times that they looked a little bit tentative, maybe passing up on some open looks and maybe not driving the back. They don't look tentative tonight. There's nothing about this team. I mean, it's just been pure aggression, getting into the rim, open shooters, taking shots. I mean, this team, they look really good.
Johnson with a strong take inside. Great setup down low there by Lauren Thompson.
That was a really good feed there by Brittingham, but hey, great position there. Takes the charge. Ayanna Johnson not happy with the call. Lady Jacks on top, 30-14.
Welcome back to the first round of the WNIT women's basketball. Right now, Lady Jacks lead 30-14, and leading the way, Avery Brittingham has 8 points, but Lady Jacks just able to score all around right now. Only 2 players that have touched the floor have not scored yet. Looking back the other way for Texas State, you only have 5 players that have touched the floor that have scored so far, and their leading scorer right now is going to be Hood with 5.
Great job there on the offensive boards by Jacayla Bowie. Hey, that's what you got to do right there if you're Texas State. You're not going to make every jump shot and get those extra possessions, get those offensive rebounds. But again, really fortunate that you don't give up a 3 right there. Just 0 rotation out to the wing, and fortunate twice on that possession. Man, Angel Scott, you're not going to see her miss 2 looks like that very often.
Not at all. They were able to close out a little bit better on that second one, maybe to deter the shot a little bit. Right now, Lady Jacks lead by 14 as we see Avery Van Sickle set to check in for SFA. Bobcats getting set with 3:45 to play here in the first half. Bobcats moving the ball around, trying to go inside, and Johnson, great defense, steps it out. Little mid-range shot with 1 second on the shot clock is no good. Good defense there by SFA.
Yeah, great defense and a great job securing the defensive rebound there. I mean, they've been really impressive on that end of the court.
Lady Jacks looking to turn it into a solid offensive possession. That's exactly what they do. And Jordan Harrison from the outside.
Texas State is going to have to find a way to run these Lady Jack shooters off that 3-point line. I mean, potentially, with the amount of open looks the Lady Jacks have had, I mean, this could really be out of hand. But, well, like I said, we've seen Angel Scott miss a couple that you don't normally see her miss when she's got that much space.
Little bump there by Johnson. No whistle called, but count the basket. And Harrison just cutting off Johnson there. And we see Harrison do that time and time again. The player doesn't always bite for it, but that time Johnson is going to ran right into Johnson. And that's a quick whistle.
Yeah, and I get her frustration there too. She took a bump on that play on the other end, didn't get a call, didn't get the and one, and I'll be honest, I thought there was some contact there. And then as you're coming to the other end, to have a point guard pull up and stop in front of you and then get called for a bump there, that's a frustrating play as a player.
Well, they kind of closed out there on Van Sickle, but left the paint wide open. Another offensive board for SFA, and it will force the Bobcats to take a timeout. My goodness, Lady Jacks just getting it done from all aspects of the floor.
Yeah, look, this is, I think we knew this. Going into this WNIT, I think we knew that this Lady Jacks team was going to be a very dangerous team. And they are firing on all cylinders tonight. They're playing the type of basketball that we've come to expect from them, the type of success that we've seen under Coach Kellogg here at SFA. And I mean, this is, I'm telling you, with 2:33 left in the half here, this is really as impressive a performance as I've seen from them this season. I mean, yeah, they've maybe had games where they've shot it better, but just from a pure execution standpoint, this has been a really almost flawless first half for the SFA Lady Jacks.
Lady Jacks shooting right now, have dipped down a little bit, 43.3% from the floor. Texas State shooting 30%. The difference is Lady Jacks have made 13 for 30 and Texas State has made 7 of 23. And right now the Bobcats have only made 1 3-pointer and have put up 7 attempts. Trying to go on the inside, can't finish through the contact. Going inside against Brittingham is not an easy task, and Brittingham ties it up.
I tell you, Avery Brittingham, she's just everywhere down there in the paint. And I mean, she's got active hands, and I mean, if there's a loose ball, she's going after it. She's just, if I were an opposing player, she would annoy me to death, I'm telling you, because the way she goes after, the way she hustles, I mean, that's where she shows up, all those hustle plays. And that was another example of it right there, just a great defensive effort.
Trying to go inside, Brittingham trying to poke it away. Nice cut by the Bobcats for 2. Chelsea Johnson picked up the foul earlier, but didn't let it bother her. She lays it in for 2, trying to help the Bobcats get back into this one as they trail by 15. McClymonds Call left wide open, top of the key, nails it.
Gotta run them off the 3-point line. I mean, hey, look, you've got to get through this last minute and 45 seconds and try to limit the damage. Because I'm telling you, they've got to go into the locker room and make some serious adjustments. I know that they've made an effort to try to keep the ball away from the paint. That has not worked out well. And then in the small cases where it has worked, the Lady Jacks have been able to kick it out for a three. And it's adjustment time if you're the Bobcats right now.
Just hitting from all ends of the floor. McCall looking to go back to back. Can't get that one to fall.
I mean, it's just, they look confused almost on the defensive end. I mean, it's just missed assignments, and it's been, my goodness.
And Harrison lays it in for two. Give credit there by Taylor running the full length of the floor, but just not in time to track down Harrison.
That play starts off with Tyler McCall making a great defensive play there, getting the steal, getting it to Harrison, and just a tremendous effort by the Lady Jacks so far.
Kennedy Taylor trying to get something rolling for the Bobcats, knocks it in from the corner. Trailing 40 to 23, 40 seconds to play in the first half. Inside Johnson, and Lady Jacks just picking apart the Bobcats. Under 30 to play, about a second to half a second separating shot and game clock. See what the Bobcats do here. See if they can go into half on a positive note. He said out, thought about it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Now 5, puts it up, knocks it in. And a good shot there by Bowie, and that will end the first half. So you may be trailing 42 to 26, but at least you have something positive to walk in on the locker room and say, okay, let's settle down. Let's bring the intensity in the second half, see if we can get something going and make this a ball game.
The biggest thing they're going to have to do is figure out assignments on the defensive end. I mean, the Bobcats look really lost on the defensive end right now. That's where they've got to make the majority of their adjustments going into the second half. Lady Jacks with a 42-26 lead.
Welcome back to William R. Johnson Coliseum. Lady Jacks on top of the Bobcats, 42-26. And right now leading the way for SFA is going to be Jordan Harrison, 1 point away from 10. And she's got 3 rebounds, 3 assists to go along with it. Looking over for the Bobcats, leading the way is also Bowie. She has 9 points and 4 rebounds. But right now, Lady Jacks getting it done overall. Just putting on a heck of a performance throughout one half of play. Yeah, the offensive end of the floor, the Lady Jacks have really executed well. And they've shot the ball well. Maybe not so great. I mean, 25% from behind the three-point line. Okay, fine. I'll grant you that that's not their best performance of the year. But the execution has really been flawless on that end. Now you take that and couple that with the fact that they've won the rebounding margin 23-13, and points off turnovers, they lead that 12-2. I mean, points in the paint, 24-12. Second chance points, 12-8. Fast breaks, 10. I mean, it's everywhere you look on this stat line right now. The Lady Jacks have dominated this basketball game. And if you're Texas State, you get out here in the second half, you have got to make adjustments on the defensive end and find a way to slow this offense down. Absolutely. The one thing I see that Texas State leads right now over the Lady Jacks as they're leading in bench points, 7-6. So it's not like they're leading by much in that category. But, I mean, there's got to be some positives you look at for the Bobcats. You've got to find some aspects you can come out here. Offensively, it's going to come. You just got to get into that rhythm. Basketball is a game of runs, but like you said, you've just got to make those adjustments defensively. You can't allow the Lady Jacks to pick you apart like they are on the defensive end. I mean, that's all it's going to take. I think whenever the Bobcats just kind of get focused in mentality, defense shut down the inside, I think it could be a different ball game. Yeah, and look, when we talked to Coach a little bit earlier today, one of the things she talked about, we mentioned our keys to the game, getting those extra possessions. Well, they haven't been able to do that. The rebounding, obviously, and then the turnovers, that's led to I mean, they're trailing just in shot attempts by 6 shots. That's not a recipe for success. That's not how you gain those extra possessions. And look, I fully expect this team to get it going a little bit in the second half. You've got way too many seniors, graduate students on this roster. They're not ready for basketball to end. 42-26, Lady Jacks over the Bobcats. We'll be right back. Lady Jacks on top, 42-26. Kind of taking a look here at some of the highlights throughout the first half. Ayanna Johnson working on the inside. Both teams losing out in their respective conferences. Lady Jacks, the WAC, losing out their tournament over in WAC Vegas. And the Texas State Bobcats losing out in their conference, the Sun Belt Conference, over in Pensacola, Florida, with a loss to #1 James Madison. Lady Jacks losing out to California Baptist, but both teams getting a playoff opportunity here with the WNIT. Lady Jacks hosting the Bobcats here at William R. Johnson Coliseum. Got to take a look at the bracket play and what that could all entail. The winner of this game will go on to face off against either Arkansas or Louisiana Tech. That game should be going on right now. It started off at about 7 p.m. Central Time, so should be a good matchup for whoever goes on to the next round. But Lady Jacks holding a solid lead here at home.
Yeah, the Lady Jacks doing everything they're supposed to do. And look, as an overall season, I know that they're disappointed here and what happened in the WAC tournament, but this team's still got a lot to play for. You're playing in March. Go get a win tonight and play some more.
Welcome back to ESPN3. Bobcats taking on SFA Lady Jacks, and Lady Jacks lead 42-26. And you know, we kind of talk about what the Bobcats can do to get back into this game. Right now, the Lady Jacks lead in almost every category. So, I mean, you've got to start somewhere for the Bobcats. So you really just want to kind of pick it up in any way you can.
Well, look, a great manager once said, Michael Scott, he said, studies show that today's woman, the Ally McBeal woman, is at a crossroads. Well, right now, this Texas State Bobcats team is at a crossroads. They've got to figure something out on the defensive end. The Lady Jacks have really got whatever they want, whenever they want it. I mean, just slow rotations, missed assignments. It's really just been sloppy on that end of the floor. I think they can fix some things on the offensive end a lot easier than they can fix it on the defensive end. But right now on that end, it's a mess.
Absolutely. But if I'm the Lady Jacks, I'm doing exactly what I've been doing the entire first half. Their lead has kind of gone down, gone back up. Their largest lead has been all the way up to 20. Bobcats have only held the lead once, and it was, I think, at the opening basket when they led 2-0.
2-0, yeah, they led for about 11 seconds before the Lady Jacks tied it up. And look, if the Lady Jacks could have really put a nail in the end of that first half, if it wasn't for a couple of three-pointers there late in the half, that thing could have really got out of control. So you've got a 16-point game right now. If you're Texas State, you got to lean on some seniors. You've got to lean on a player like Denasia Hood, a Kennedy Taylor. You got to get Jacayla Bow. You got to just get your players going. You've got a bunch of seniors that aren't ready to quit playing basketball. They've got to figure out something, but I think it's got to start for them on the defensive end. They have got to fix a lot of missed rotations, a lot of missed assignments on that end of the floor.
Absolutely. Hood being right now tied for second in scoring for the Bobcats, only has 5 points and only has 2 rebounds to go along with it. 2 aspects of her game that have been very dominant throughout the season. Been very quiet so far here tonight. Taylor usually magnificent in assists this game and the other game. It just, you know, we won't know until we know till the deciding factors of who wins both games, and we'll just be notified.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure what goes into the bidding for all of those and for how all that works, but I'll tell you, you know, Arkansas, Louisiana Tech got them going right now. We got the Bobcats and the Lady Jacks going, and whether we play it here or somewhere else or whoever plays, somebody's going to play the second round game, and it should be a good one.
Bobcats close out the first half of the 3 and open up the second half the same way. And McClellan Call trying to take it inside for an answer will get fouled.
Start here if you're the Bobcats. I mean, maybe a little bit of contact there, but hey, look. You're not giving up just straight open looks right now, open cutters. It's a good start. The first 30 seconds have gone a lot better if you're a Bobcat fan.
Climate Call at the line. So for tonight, she now has 7 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist, and 1 steal. So kind of filling up the stat sheet, just kind of all over. Lady Jack showing some presence in the backcourt. Bobcats trying to get set, trying to get another solid offensive possession. They trail 44-29. Almost a minute gone here in the third quarter. And that one was halfway down and out, but getting the extra opportunity. See if they can capitalize on it here. A little jab step, can't get that one to fall. Gets another offensive board. Didn't see too many of those in the first half for the Bobcats. And they'll finally pay it off for the third opportunity they got down low.
What a pass there by Taylor Pruitt. That was a great find. And yeah, I mean, there it is. There are the extra possessions. Now you got to work on the defensive end. Got to get some stops.
Going inside, pick and roll action. Birmingham can't finish. Final call, picking up on the ball carrier. Going inside, Johnson able to tip it right into the hands of the Bobcats. Can't finish at the basket, and it will go out of bounds off of the Bobcats. Hope the laptop's okay. It landed right on one of the social media laptops over here.
I'll tell you, Lauren Thompson found herself just wide open on that last possession. I think it surprised her a little bit and missed that easy bucket. I'll tell you who's not missing easy buckets though, Ayanna Johnson, getting it down there on the block and taking it up for 2 more points.
46-31, 2 minutes gone by in the third. Bobcats bringing the ball to the floor. Now look to get set. Bobcats trying to move the ball around, trying to get something set still, wasting a bunch of time off the shot clock. Just trying to get their offense flowing. Going inside. Hard task to go to work against Johnson. Loose ball. And it's going to be a jump ball in favor of the Bobcats. Take a look at it here. Johnson just playing big man ball down low, not being pushed around easy whatsoever.
I got caught a little bit there at the end of that when they called that jump ball, watching both head coaches. One head coach wanted to travel, the other head coach wanted to foul. It's always fascinating to me after a call like that to watch both the head coaches and their reaction and how they both saw it completely different. Can you imagine? But yeah, I got lost a little bit there watching the two coaches. That was really funny watching the two of them argue their case there.
Head coach there for Texas State. SBC Coach of the Year, and like you said earlier, 12th year as a head coach.
Coach Z was, I tell you, when I got to talk to her a little bit earlier here in the Sawmill, I was really impressed sitting and talking to her and the way she talked about her team. And I came away from that conversation, I had a lot of respect for her after that conversation. And she's a really good coach. I think Texas State very lucky to have her there. Again, like, she's Coach of the Year in the conference this year. She's the all-time winningest coach in program history. And I tell you, I think they've got a good one there in Coach C, as I'm going to call her.
And some of the Lady Jack crowd not happy with that whistle, but it will be Texas State basketball. Take a look at it here, Hood up top. Little push there by Brittany. But nonetheless, Texas State trying to work and try to get another basket. Little step back against Scott, doesn't pull the trigger. That was under 10 on the shot clock. Got to find something quickly. Bowie across the court, 3 second, puts it up over McCall. Nothing but air. And that's going to be a shot clock violation. Great defense after a couple stoppages there by the Lady Jacks.
Yeah, they're making it really tough for the Bobcats to get into their sets. And I'll tell you, they're making them really uncomfortable on the offensive end. They played great defense all night tonight.
And that's going to be a foul against number 24 in Taylor Pruitt. That's just going to be her second personal. Pruitt will now check out, and it will bring Sierra Dixon. Plenty of height on this Texas State team. I believe they have, I think it's 6 to 7 players over 6 feet tall. They're going kind of small here. Well, I say so. Maybe it's just the angle we're at. Up top, driving inside the lane, little stop and pop, came up short. McCall fighting for the board. Ball is still loose. And McCall just one of those players. We've seen McCall fight for the ball, and I don't think I would ever want to go up against her.
No, I'll tell you, you're not going to find a more fierce competitor than her on the basketball court. She plays some intense basketball. Speaking of intense, that last possession for Texas State up at the top of the key there, at the top of the three-point line, some contact down in the paint. I think we're starting to see things get a little bit physical here as Ayanna Johnson takes it to the rack.
Johnson with a pretty reverse there. Bobcats look to get reset, 5:50 to play in the third. Good look down low. Left wide open was Lauren Thompson.
Yeah, that's a really good find there by Bowie. What a great pass.
And if Texas State really wants to get back into this one, they're just going to have to do more of that and more of that on the defensive end.
Kennedy Taylor just takes it away from Jordan Harrison, and I'll tell you, you don't see that happen very often.
Not at all. Feeding inside, and back-to-back buckets now for the Bobcats and Lauren Thompson.
Lauren Thompson and Ayanna Johnson just having a little game between the two of them. Anything you can do, I can do better right now.
Johnson gets a screen, spin move on the inside, draws the foul, and a discussion will be held. I think one official called the timeout, one called the foul, one called the travel, and now the official ruling is going to be a travel against Johnson, and it will allow some substitutions to come in for both sides.
As you can guess, Coach Kellogg not happy with that call at all. And I don't know if I blame him, if I'm being completely honest.
Johnson, 1, 2.
Yeah, that last, maybe a little shuffle there at the end, but I guess the question you got to ask is, did the shuffle come because of the I don't know.
Or did the shuffle come after the contact?
Yeah, I guess that's the question, and the referees decided that it was definitely before.
A mid-range shot over Kirsten Hart and count the basket. And it's going to be a foul against the Lady Jacks and Tyler McClymont call. So we'll have some more basketball coming your way after the break. Right now, Lady Jacks holding on to an 11-point lead, 50-39. Coming on a break, the Lady Jacks lead 50-39, just an 11-point lead for SFA, where it just feels like a game they've had in control the entire way. Their largest leads have been 20, but don't blink or don't look away. I mean, Texas State getting back into this one.
Well, we talked about it in that first half. You've got a team loaded with seniors, grad students. They've been around the block a time or two. They've got it in single digits now. And they're doing what we said they needed to do in the first half, kind of grinding the game down to a halt. They're not letting it get out up and down the court. That's what they've got to do. They're getting some stops on the defensive end, forcing a couple of turnovers. They've started creeping back into the rebounding numbers now. They've got that down to 7. I mean, they're doing all the things we talked about you need to do to get back into it.
And a missed shot there by SFA. Right now, Texas State is in double digits. Bowie with 13. Hood starting to look like herself. She has 10 points, 3 rebounds with 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. Final call working defensively. Hood left wide open mid-range and knocks it in. That's her bread and butter. And right now, Texas State on a roll.
Tell you, that shot right there is all the proof that you need, but I got to watch her and shoot around a little bit today, and I'm going to tell you what, she's got as good a jump shot as anybody you're going to find in mid-major college basketball.
Harrison with a nice finish. Lady Jacks were desperate for a basket. Back out to 9. Outside, tries her attempt at 3. No good. Rebound tipped around. Harden to Lombard. Lombard realizes no numbers. Cross court to McCall. Working the ball around. And Kirsten Harden down low lays it in for 2.
What an absolute laser beam of a pass right here from Tyler McCall. That is a great find. What a pass.
Lady Jacks back out to a double-digit lead. Working around, Lombard comes up with a steal. Trying to lead the break, goes up, gets the shot blocked. And McCall corrals it. And it's gonna be a jump ball. And it will be stay in favor of SFA. My goodness, Lombard, great job getting the steal there. But the Bobcats not giving up on the play.
We're starting to get to that point in the game where we're getting a little bit of physicality, maybe even a little bit chippy. The coaches are getting into it, players are into it, fans are into it. It's postseason basketball. You gotta love it.
And it's going to be a foul. It looks like against number 55, and that's going to be against Jada Reed.
Now here's what I don't want to happen. Just talked about the physicality, a little bit of chippiness. What I do not want to see happen are we start calling tic-tac fouls here. Like, let's let these ladies play. It's postseason basketball. It's supposed to be physical. I don't want to see this game get bogged down with a bunch of foul calls.
Both teams lost out in their respective conferences for a chance at the NCAA tournament, so they're wanting to win. They feel like they should have won the games they lost. So both teams looking for a solid win here at the Sawmill. But like we kind of talked about earlier, Lady Jacks have only lost 5 home games in the past 6 years. But Texas State doing everything they can, and they've crawled back into right now an 11-point deficit. And it'll be a foul there against Sierra Jackson. I think we may have seen that a little bit so far, a little bit earlier on, that may have not been called. So may start to see a little more whistle calling.
Yeah, I hate seeing games. I hate seeing them get bogged down with a bunch of foul calls. And yeah, I mean, we're at 7 fouls and we're almost at 8 minutes of play here in the half. And I don't know. I think some of them are just good basketball plays, and it's going to be a little bit physical at times. It's postseason basketball, and you got 2 really talented teams, and you're going at it. I think you just let them play a little bit.
Substitution brings in number 25 and Lauren Thompson. Reed will check out. So kind of looking at the bracket once again. Halftime for Arkansas and Louisiana Tech. Arkansas leads that game 35-21. Again, the winner of this game will go on to face the winner of that game for the second round of the WNIT playoffs. Johnson with the extra board. Count the basket for Johnson.
You know, we were talking earlier about how this Texas State team's got a bunch of seniors that aren't ready to go home yet. This SFA squad's got 1 senior, and I can promise you, she's not ready to be done playing yet either. Ayanna Johnson putting on a great performance tonight for the Lady Jacks.
Hood once again a little short on that attempt, able to tip it out. Texas State gets another opportunity. 3 on the way, knocks it in. Kennedy Taylor from the outside.
That one was from way, I mean, she was over here right by the table when she let that thing go.
Back to a 10-point game, 1:15 to play in the third. Harrison analyzing the defense. What a find by Harrison to Johnson. Attracting the defense and says, all right, I'll just hand it off to my veteran player.
Well, I tell you, one of the benefits for SFA, one of the great things about this team is you've got a freshman point guard, the WAC freshman of the year, who plays like she's a senior. And it's amazing to watch the poise that she plays with at such a young age in her first year of college basketball. And yeah, what a great find there to Ayanna Johnson.
Going inside, Harden with the rejection.
Interesting lineup here for Coach.
Same thing.
Having Harden and Ayanna Johnson on the floor at the same time and matching a little bit of that size. Destiny Lombard with the reverse. Lady Jacks got it rolling again here.
Lady Jacks What was it, a 9-point lead at one point, all of a sudden back out to 14.
We've seen them do this in very sparing moments during the season, but yeah, this is a lineup that you and I and our friend Hunter talked about a little bit earlier this week when we found out about this matchup. And I said that it was a matchup that we might see with the two of them in together, and now the Lady Jacks are rolling back up 16 at the end of the third quarter. Man, the Sawmill getting roaring in here right now.
Lady Jacks lead 62 to 46. It was a 9-point game in the third quarter, but by looking at the score, you wouldn't think so.
Yeah, look, Texas State they had clawed their way back into it, got it back to single digits, and then you look down at the score sheet at the end of the half, or at the end of the quarter there, and Lady Jacks go on a quick run there, and they end up tied 20 to 20 in that quarter, and boy, that's got to be just a gut punch if you're the Bobcats right now, to feel like you had kind of gotten yourself back in a position to make it a game, and now you're right back where you were 10 minutes ago.
Absolutely. Both teams shooting well from the floor. Lady Jacks shooting just about 48%, while the Bobcats shooting 43%. Both teams have only made 4 threes. Lady Jacks 4 for 16, Bobcats 4 for 12. The difference is a little bit right now is the Lady Jacks have gotten themselves to the free throw line, is coming out of the break. Bobcats firing, and Jacayla Bowie knocks it in.
Like Bowie having a conversation with some of the folks sitting courtside there. Maybe a good little bit of clean trash talk going on here in the Sawmill tonight.
And a three-pointer by the Bobcats, and then a turnover by the Lady Jacks. So the Bobcats trying to still keep their hopes alive in this one.
Yeah, now it's just going to be, hey, you've got every offensive possession, you've got to try to get some points, man. I mean, you don't have time to have empty possessions right now. And then on the defensive end, you're just going to have to grind. You got to get some stops and figure out a way to get this thing, first you get it to single digits, then you try to get it to 5. You got to set those benchmarks, maybe force SFA to call a couple timeouts, but They got to do something. They got to get back into this thing, and it's going to start right here.
62-49, looking for back-to-back buckets coming into the fourth quarter. Hood out top. Fires away, three on the way, knocks it in. Not just back-to-back buckets, but back-to-back triples for the Bobcats and Kennedy Taylor.
I'll tell you, during the break, I told you, that last minute and a half was a disaster for them. The first minute of the fourth quarter has been as good as you could want from them.
Back-to-back threes, 10-point game. Harrison answers with a three of her own. We've got a little three-point contest going on.
Tell you what, it is raining in the Sawmill right now. It's raining outside and inside.
Lady Jacks jump back out to a 13-point lead. Up top, working Lombard. Trying to get something set. Corner or wing three once again. Oh my goodness, Kennedy Taylor back-to-back threes. 3 straight possessions for the Bobcats with a triple.
Look, I don't know if we're going to host another game here in the Sawmill in this tournament, but if we do, we're going to have to replace the nets. These things are on fire at the moment.
Harrison couldn't knock that one in, but another opportunity comes up for SFA. Kyla Deck gets set up on the outside. Trying to feed Johnson. Cross-court pass. Lombard fires from the corner, puts it in. My goodness. Timeout taken by by the Bobcats. What a performance we're seeing here. Lady Jacks on top, 68-55. What did we just watch? Straight three-pointers to open up the fourth quarter by each side combined. 3 for Texas State, 2 for the Lady Jacks. I don't know what I was expecting to open up the fourth quarter, but that wasn't it.
No, I didn't expect us to get like you said, we had a 3-point shooting contest. We got another one going on.
Oh my goodness.
I'm done. I'm out. What is going on in the Sawmill right now?
Kennedy Taylor. What was that? That's her. Out of the 4 straight threes made, she's made 3 of them.
I'm again, speechless.
1-3 there, but Lady Jacks get another bucket by Jordan Harrison.
Finally, a good old-fashioned two-point shot.
What are we going to get here? Taylor out top, feeding inside the hood, kicks it out. And a good tip there by Harrison, because I'm sure if that would have made it in the hands of Taylor, she was pulling once again.
Yeah, I can pretty much guarantee you Kennedy Taylor was about to pull the trigger again right there.
And a foul by Kirsten Harden.
So everybody knows it's March, and as we look at the replay there, good. Well, yeah, got a little bit of contact. What does your bracket look like? I mean, I know we're early in the tournament, but I mean, Virginia goes down, Arizona goes down. Is yours as much a dumpster fire right now as mine is?
You know, I've never really been one to make a March Madness bracket, so I thought, you know, why not do it this year? And I love March Madness. I always watch it. I just never made a bracket. Lost the first 2 games. Straight up.
Boy.
Another 3 by Texas State. Oh my goodness. Sharing the wealth. Jacayla Bowie knocks that one in.
Look, if there's a recipe for getting back into a basketball game, you know, part of that recipe is make 5 straight 3-pointers. Because I'm pretty sure that's what they've done. Is it 5 now on this end?
I think so.
Just ridiculous.
We said 5 by both teams combined. Well, now Texas State comes out in the 4th quarter making 5 straight threes.
Unbelievable.
15 quick points by Texas State. And, I mean, if you're a Lady Jack fan, thank goodness that they hit some of their own, because it is a 9-point ball game right now after 5 straight threes by Texas State.
Yeah, the Lady Jacks probably having some flashbacks to watching a couple of those CBU games right now when those ladies got hot against the Lady Jacks, and now it looks like the Bobcats are getting heated up behind the 3-point line.
Is there a terminology for more than heated up? I mean,
at this point, it's just like flame on, like the Human Torch.
And Kyla Deck knocks it in for the Lady Jacks. Usually you can see it by one side and make a huge comeback by Texas State, but for both sides to be knocking in so many threes, this has been incredible to watch.
I mean, these two teams, look, if you don't think the women's NIT is going to be a fun tournament to watch, I mean, look around. There are some talented teams playing in this tournament, 2 of them right here. And I mean, just really gifted players offensively, defensively. But man, we are seeing a shooting performance here in the 4th quarter right now.
The first missed 3-pointer of the 4th quarter comes with the 6th 3 by Texas State. Johnson trying to feed Harden, and kind of a little jump pass. Harden able to regather, and Lady Jacks will reset. Deck driving the inside, and it's going to be an offensive foul, I think, and it is.
Yeah.
kind of a delayed call there.
Well, I think the 2 officials, I think they had both blown the whistle, and I think they're in agreement that that was the call. I'm in agreement that that was the call. Kyla Deck just a little out of control right there, and yeah, I think the charge was the right call to make.
Absolutely. I don't think the crowd agrees, though.
Well, I can't imagine they would. You know, there's a group right over there behind the Texas State bench that looks awful quiet right now. I think they agreed, but yeah, the other couple thousand here in the Sawmill, they're not buying it.
73-61. Outside, looking around. Taylor, a little wild pass, but was able to secure it. And it will go out of bounds. They're going to say off of SFA. Give credit to Texas State. I mean, kind of a lackluster first half, but this second half, they've been doing a lot of things right. And another 3 by Kennedy Taylor. 6 for 7 are Texas State from behind the arc in the 4th.
I mean, that was from range. Look how far out that is. I mean, she shot that. Where are they from? San Marcos? Pretty sure she was over near there somewhere when she fired that one up.
Lombard can't knock that one in. Lombard gets the steal. Harden kicks it out. Kyla Deck to Harrison. Harrison just floats it up, floats it in. Nobody came to guard her, so she said, I'll take it.
Yeah. Jordan Harrison, she's such a good player. It's hard to believe every time I watch her that she's a freshman.
Taylor looking around. Fires once again. Am I watching the All-Star game by Kennedy Taylor right now? My goodness.
This is unbelievable what we're watching right now. I mean, it's ridiculous, the shooting performance these teams are putting on.
I think our stat and Kirsten Harden getting an old-fashioned three-point play.
We're going to try to get three the old-fashioned way on the offensive end. This is absolutely absurd. What a take. Powerful move there by Kirsten Harden. Gets the and one. Shooting a free throw when we get back. Lady Jacks leading it 77-67.
Taylor has 23 points.
She's 6 for 8.
(77-67). Somehow, the Lady Jacks getting it done, able to hold on to a 10-point lead. But right now, the Bobcats lighting the nets up from behind the arc. 75% from the floor, or excuse me, 87.5% from the floor. All 87.5% of that has been behind the arc. 7 for 8 for 3 are the Bobcats here in the fourth.
Yeah, they haven't taken a shot inside the arc yet here in the fourth quarter. And look, you're down 11 points right now to a really good team. You're at the point of the game with 4 minutes to go. I don't know that you can afford to take a whole lot of shots inside the arc, but my goodness, when you got a player like Kennedy Taylor who's 7 for 9 in the game right now, yeah, keep throwing them up.
Absolutely. If I'm Coach Kellogg during that media break, I'm not allowing Taylor to see any sorts of daylight if the ball is in her hands. I mean, I would face guard her the entire time.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe just put 2 on her. Don't let her shoot it again.
Absolutely incredible performance here by Taylor. I think you had mentioned like the assist leader in the Sun Belt Conference this season, with an absurd amount of assists this season. But tonight she has herself, 23 points as Harrison lays that in for 2.
23 points, and now Jordan Harrison with 22 after that shot.
Golly.
And what a, I mean, I'm so impressed with these 2 basketball teams, and I'll tell you, if you don't watch a whole lot of women's college basketball, you're missing out, because there are a lot of really talented teams in the country. We're watching 2 of them tonight.
Yeah. Good basket there by Jacayla Bowie.
I don't know if you noticed that. Jordan Harrison, as the ball gets thrown into her, she has a conversation with the official there about that last play. There aren't a whole lot of freshmen in the country that an official is going to have a conversation with. But Jordan Harrison, I'm telling you, she carries herself like she's a fifth-year senior. And it's amazing to watch the way she interacts. And they talk to her all the time. Officials just have conversations with this freshman out here.
Right now, Texas State had some numbers, but now we'll kick it out. Lady Jacks staying big with Ayanna Johnson and Kirsten Harden both in. And a nice feed down low, but the block by Johnson, and now the whistle will come in late. Lombard was coming over for the help. It was a nice feed, but it'll be 2 free throws coming up for the Texas State Bobcats as we see Sierra Dixon check in.
That was a really, really good find. I mean, what an incredible pass there. Great job exploiting the matchup there too. She got switched off with Ayanna Johnson on her, takes it to the basket. As soon as they collapse, she gets that find there, and 2 free throws coming for the Bobcats here.
Trying to make this a single-digit ball game as she knocks in the first. 2:14 to play here in the fourth. Texas State not really able to break that 9-point barrier too often. But it definitely made this a ball game. It was the biggest lead. It was 20 for SFA. Bobcats doing their best. And, you know, making how many ever on threes they've made here in the fourth. If the Lady Jacks are somehow able to continue to hold on to lead, I don't know what else you can do. I mean, it's just stops defensively at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they got to get some stops on the defensive end, and then you got to keep scoring.
Harrison weaving through traffic finds Lombard. Harding kicks it out. Harrison with 3 seconds. Step back, 3 on the way. Cannot get it, but Harrison will get fouled and will head to the free throw line to shoot 3.
Boy, what a mistake right there. If you're the Bobcats, you've got them in a situation where Jordan Harrison's having to throw one up a little off balance. They moved into a zone, did a good job keeping it away from Ayanna Johnson, and really did everything right for 29 seconds of that defensive possession. And then, just a brutal foul out at the 3-point line. Man, you don't want to send Jordan Harrison to the line for 3 of them.
Absolutely not. Jordan Harrison leading the team in free throw percentage this season at 82%. And very comfortable there. Has made, besides tonight, 100 of 122. As she knocks in the second. Hoping the Lady Jacks keeps pushing.
I'm going to keep saying it. It's incredible that she's a freshman. I mean, if you just tuned in to watch a Lady Jack basketball game and you started watching number 10, there is no way you think, oh man, look at this freshman. There's just no way.
So an 11-point lead. I think we've said that pretty much from day one about Jordan Harrison. As the bucket is good there by Taylor Pruitt. Makes it a 9-point game once again, a minute and a half to play. I mean, at this point, Texas State, I mean, you've got to get every possession and maybe a little bit of luck.
Yeah, it's definitely with a minute 14. It's gonna take some luck, and again, that's not the person you want to foul. Got to find a way to get it out of Jordan Harrison's hands and foul anybody else.
Not in the bonus yet, so it will be just a sidelines out of bounds play coming up for SFA. You know what? I do kind of like that foul. You got a minute 12 left. You're down by 9.
Yep.
So you got to start getting within that fouling area, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, you've got a couple to give. You've got to get yourself in a position where you can try to extend this game a little bit.
But if there's one person, like we said, you don't want to foul, it's Jordan Harrison. Said it many times throughout the season, Jordan Harrison and this SFA Lady Jacks fan group, it gets dead silent in here.
Yeah, the old sawmill, I mean, you could,
for as rowdy as you can get,
you could quite literally hear a pin drop when a free throw goes up in this building.
Oh, that means they reached over the threshold of foul, so every time.
Harrison makes 4 of her last 5, makes it an 84-73 game, minute 7 remaining, puts up a 3, and for a moment there, I thought that one was falling in.
I'll tell you what, if that one would have gone in, I'd have fell out of my chair.
I about did earlier. Under a minute to play, Lady Jacks can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Kyla Deck puts it up too strong. Lombard can't save it. And you can hear the crowd ready to see that final buzzer go off, and the Lady Jacks for them to advance to round 2 as they lead 84-73. Checking in across the way. That 3 is good by Texas State.
Got to deny.
And a timeout taken by SFA.
Yeah, good timeout there. But the one thing maybe I don't like that timeout, because now you're going to give Texas State the opportunity to get something set here. At all costs, you've got to deny Jordan Harrison the basketball right here. You've got to keep it out of her hands. You can let anybody else catch it and let them go to the free throw line and take your chances, but you do not want to send Jordan Harrison to the free throw line.
Not at all. As I was kind of saying earlier, looking across the way, Arkansas, Louisiana Tech, the winner of that game, will go on to face off what looks like right now SFA as they lead 84-76 with 33 seconds. But right now Arkansas leads that one 42-33 with 3:50 to play in the 3rd quarter. One thing I do want to kind of touch on about this game is Texas State 13 for 23 behind the arc, SFA 7 for 22. Of those 3-pointers, Texas State has made 8 of them here in the 4th, SFA 3 in the 4th.
Unbelievable. This 4th quarter has been absolutely wild.
What a performance by both sides. And Harrison will get fouled before the ball is even inbounded. And
I think they called that foul on Jordan Harrison.
Did they? Wow.
I mean, both players kind of got tangled. To me, I think that's either a no call, or I would have even maybe called a double foul, but I don't think you can call that on one or the other. That was.
And both hands were kind of up in the air, just like.
Yeah, just kind of had their arms locked a little bit there, and boy, that is that's a tough call to swallow there for Coach Kellogg and the Lady Jacks.
I don't know if we can see that one more time. Maybe just look what happened. Right now, SFA on top, 84-76, 33 seconds to play. And it's Texas State's basketball.
What a play.
Harrison. Nobody around, will go ahead and lay it in for 2. And Harrison could have winded out the clock, but definitely wanted to get some extra points on that stat sheet as they now lead by 10 once again.
Well, I think Jordan Harrison was really frustrated about that foul call, and yeah, Jordan Harrison, that play right there was all about, hey, I'm going to get the better of you. You're not going to best me here tonight, and man, what a play. Just at the right time, 10-point lead, man. And she has been so impressive. That last game in the WAC tournament, she was impressive in that loss to CVU, and now here tonight, she is telling you, there's no way that's a freshman. There's no way that I'm watching a freshman do the things that we watch Jordan Harrison do night in and night out.
Jordan Harrison now with 28 points and well over her career high. With her career high was actually on March 10th against CVU in a conference play where she had 22 points, but tonight here back at home on the Sawmill, she's got 28 points. Last desperation Lombard controls it, and they'll go ahead and foul Lombard with 16.1 seconds remaining.
I tell you, the Lady Jacks are going to move on, and they're going to play the winner of Louisiana Tech, Arkansas. But I do want to say, give a lot of credit to Texas State. Things did not go their way there early in the game, especially in that 1st quarter, to fight back and get back in this thing. And got it down to single digits, got it to 8 there. And man, I'll tell you, we're a really impressive team, a well-coached team, and congrats to them on a really good season, a share of their conference regular season championship. And I tell you, there's a lot to be happy about if you're a Texas State Bobcat fan tonight.
Absolutely. Ayanna Johnson, the veteran for the Lady Jacks. Also, and a timeout taken by Texas State. But going back to what I was saying, Ayanna Johnson, almost a double-double from what I'm seeing. She has 16 points and 9 rebounds. So what could be her final performance on her home floor. It could, I mean, she still could have one more. Who knows? We won't know until the determining factor of both games. But it could be her last home game, and right now she had a great performance as the Lady Jacks lead 87-76. Jacks lead 87-76 with 15.5 seconds to play. Pruitt looking to inbound. And like we said earlier, 7 official solid seniors here for Texas State. And the basket will not fall. And Kirsten Harden will hold on to it. And they're going to call a final foul, send Kirsten Harden to the line after a foul there by Kennedy Taylor, just kind of trying to poke it away. Taylor can tell she's not happy with the way this ball game turned out, and you know, I don't know if I would be too happy after all the threes that she's made, and especially here in the fourth quarter, and to lose this game on the road.
Well, I mean, look, you didn't get the game that you were hoping to get out of Denasia Hood. She had 12 points tonight, but boy, I'll tell you, Kennedy Taylor, between her and Jacayla Bowie, 23 and 21 respectively for those two. And I mean, they really shouldered a lot of the load tonight, and great games by both of them. Going to come up just a little bit short, but a valiant effort nonetheless.
All the 2 players that saw the court tonight for the Lady Jacks, I don't even know. I don't know what to say anymore. Another 3 to end this ball game by Texas State. I didn't even see who shot it. I just saw the half-court heave.
Who cares? What? I mean, was there any other way for that quarter to end than that right there? Unbelievable.
Oh my! I just and a little chippiness going over on the sideline now. Kyla Deck not happy with some of the words of Texas State. You mentioned earlier a little chippiness between these 2 teams. Kyla Deck having to be held back. And we've got a little, the words of Jonathan Shusky, I think they're maybe making some dinner plans.
I don't think that's what they're doing. And look, I don't know what was said. I imagine it was probably something about that last court or that last half-court heave. But, I mean, look, let it go.